Do not give up on your legal status. Many people fail to respond to RFE or file an application before the deadline. This is why we offer a strategy session for 15 minutes at no cost to you. Not everyone qualifies. First, you need to speak with our CARES team. We receive many requests, so we recommend you answer a few questions on our website, greencardguys.com. Our mission is to help people live and work in America legally. Go ahead and subscribe below and follow and share. Talk to you soon. What's going on? Today is July 10th. Today's topic is the prosecutorial discretion update regarding the Supreme Court case, Texas versus United States. Welcome to greencardguys.tv. I'm your host, John Ting. I practice immigration law in all 50 states of America and across the world, helping you solve your immigration problem and maybe even prevent it from happening in the first place. Thanks for tuning in. Excuse my voice. I should have drank some water earlier. So here's the deal, folks. Great news, of course, with the Texas versus U.S. case. I posted about this about 1 or 2 weeks ago that, it came down 8-1 in favor of this this ruling. It was actually led by Brett Kavanaugh, surprising to some extent, because, of course, a lot of Republican-minded conservative folks are, to some extent, if not mostly, against immigration. But in this situation, it was very clear-cut that this was decided based on the law. Okay, there's other cases out there, especially with the Supreme Court. You're thinking, what the heck was that? We try, us lawyers that we talk about these kind of cases, we really try to dig in and see, what is the situation, make analysis about it. Okay, so, but in this situation, the Supreme Court said, long story short, okay, because there's a lot of opinions out there, that these states in general, have no legal standing, when it's essentially telling the government what to do, specific to Department of Homeland Security enforcement. Okay, so basically, states can't just sue the government, the White House or DHS, when they don't agree with how they're creating enforcement priorities. Of course, they're arguing lack of enforcement priorities and just go after everyone. Now, so folks, by the way, if you have any questions, you're welcome to comment down below in the comment section, your question or share your experience. But of course, if you're a little shy, you don't want to share online, that's completely understandable. You're welcome to give us a call, 720-740-4247, or you can go to our website, greencardguys.com, and just answer a couple questions on the contact page, and our CARES team will call you within 24 hours of a business day. I was about to say 24/7, but that's not true. We do get some rest. Okay, my team will appreciate that. All right, so let me share my screen, because there's a lot of people who have been waiting to see if what's going to happen with their case, with their request for prosecutorial discretion. So let's see. Let me increase my screen here. Okay, so on this specific page that I'll share the link down below in a second, at least on YouTube and Facebook. Ask, is the Department of Homeland Security's civil immigration enforcement priority still in effect? Here it says this part has not been updated, okay? Because this is based on the district court's order from June 2022, okay? Because what we've been telling clients is essentially, we can try to resubmit the request for PD, essentially to request the Department of Homeland Security to see if they'll join our motion to dismiss. Ultimately, attorneys can file the motion to dismiss without the government's agreement, Department of Homeland Security attorneys. But of course, to give it the strongest possible opportunity before it gets presented to a judge, all right, it's always better to get the government's, the Department of Homeland Security's agreement to join the motion. Now, let's see here. But there's another section here that I want to share with you. Prosecutorial discretion. for the USCIS website. What I could share with you is ICE. Let's see here. Oh, well, they completely updated here. So it might be a little harder. I'm going to record a separate video that about the updates with the USCIS tools. There we go. I'm trying to find the newsroom here. But basically, what I'm trying to find, the news release is basically what Secretary Mayorkas, Alejandro Mayorkas, said that they're happy with the decision of Supreme Court, but essentially it didn't give a specific go file a new request. They didn't say like that. Not that we need to wait for that, but essentially how this works is that although they can receive the request for PD, the Office of Chief Counsel for each immigration court may have a different process. Because I went, for one example, they're not on the same page, at least before this decision. When I went to court about a couple months ago, I recall that when I asked one of the trial attorneys, what we call it, what is the process? Because we've been emailing you, we've been filed it online in the e-filing system. What is the process with Houston, at least? And the attorney said, oh, you just email the OPLA email, which you have access to on this website. For example, can't seem to find the actual news release. So when I find, I'll let you know. But it doesn't say much, honestly. But it's something. Now, so what am I trying to say here, folks? You can still submit your request, but it could still be, quote unquote, not in the workflow. Okay, because that one attorney told me, and bless their hearts, they're probably not told everything up to date just because I have so many cases to handle day to day. Now, but that's what we try to check for you. Okay, we check with colleagues who are in a specific, where they live, where they have an office, to make sure that this is the up to date process. Because in Houston, that attorney said, "Oh yeah, just send it to OPLA email," which is what is indicated in this online in the public facing website. And then we get another update saying, email notification saying, no, you got to file it on the e-filing database. So what we're essentially doing right now is doing double the work to get your motion agreement, to get the motion to dismiss, get their agreement on it. Okay. And hopefully that doesn't slow things down for them, because I would suspect if they're receiving the request in two different websites or two different ways, that it could slow it down. I just feel like it's a little bit ridiculous. I know Dallas is a bit more streamlined. I'm very fortunate. I'm very happy that Dallas is more streamlined. Yeah, they have like a Google form or something like that, just so we can share more information real time. It's just a lot easier. Okay, let's see. All right, so let me see. You got any questions here? Thanks for joining, asking some questions here. I think, hey, Junior Toro, welcome from Arizona. I see some of y'all have some jokes. Yeah, I'm not going to respond to those. Okay. Going to answer immigration related questions. Okay, you're a U.S. citizen. You filed the I-130 for your husband, January 2023. Your process time says 4 weeks. Is that right? Yeah, you could say it's fairly correct. Even if I'm surprised, honestly. Looks like you only filed a petition, but the deal is that yeah, 4 weeks. We've had some experiences like that when it's only the petition. If it has a 485 as well, sometimes it could be like 1 month, 2 months when it's a marriage case to a U.S. citizen. If it's a marriage case to a permanent resident, the processing times are traditionally much slower, maybe like quadruple the time. So that's great. I mean, I really feel like the petition, I hate to call it this way, but a bit more rubber stamped scenario than when there's a 485 involved, because 485 traditionally, as you know, will require an interview. But these days in 2023, most of our cases, the interviews are waived, fortunately. Okay, so by the way, folks, if you enjoy the way we share content, please tap the screen, click the likes, click the follow or the hearts. You know what I'm talking about. It really helps us, helps our channel be spread to others who may have an immigration question. The social media algorithm is bonkers. I have no idea how it works, but apparently I've been told you got to follow, like, and share, subscribe. So please do that if you enjoy our content. Alrighty. Alrighty, I see some more questions. So hopefully it helps the person who asked on TikTok. Let's see here. Appreciate the likes. Thank you so much. Gmo Wayne, how long am I seeing I-130 travel authorization be issued? That's tough to say. Out of all the different applications, other than the 290B, which is not even shown online, the uscs.gov website, the 131, I can try to pull it up right now. Okay, let me see here. All right, let me see real quick. Our tool section. All right, so for the folks that are on YouTube and Facebook, you can see this. Case processing times. Okay, so you click in for y'all on Instagram and TikTok. How you get to this is go to uscs.gov, click on tools and resources, or you could just Google search USCIS case status and make sure to pick the one that says .gov at the end. You want to click your form number. So let's say 131. I'm going to click on advanced parole because I have a couple options. Now on your receipt notice, if you have it handy, if you remember which service center, let me know because the processing times usually depend on the location of your case or your application. Okay, so let me just click California Service Center, give you an example here. Yikes, that one says 18 months. All right, so let me pick a different one. Hopefully National Benefit Center have 11 and a half months. I just checked last week. I remember seeing something like 6 months. Okay, Nebraska Service Center, 9 months. Let's see, that Texas Service Center is 18 months. Yikes. Okay, and Vermont Service Center has the least amount of time processing, and that's 7.5 months. Pretty sure that was right. Yeah, that's pretty nuts. That's very unfortunate. I'm going to answer all y'all's questions to the best of my ability before 12:30 because I have another meeting at that time. Let's see here. So hopefully that helps, Gmo Wayne. Hopefully you already have it filed at least. Okay. Let's see here. Bucci, have I watched the NAIR video? I'm not sure what video you're talking about. I might have to Google search that. Let's see, Ben Sassi. Or can you give some context what that is? Ben Sassi, you've been living in the States for 9 years, out of status for 3 of them. Okay, 3 of those years. Would that be an issue? Yeah, it is an issue in general. Now, generally speaking, Ben Sassi, is that you have to, if you have overstayed your visa, that's generally a problem. So number one is don't leave the U.S. Okay, under any circumstances, don't leave. I get it. Some people call us and say, I already left the U.S. because my family member passed away. I totally understand that, but you have to know the consequences of leaving. Because when you actually even if you step 1 foot outside America, let's say Canada or Mexico, 1 foot, that triggers the 10-year bar if you've been in the U.S. for more than 1 year without status, okay? So that's whether you enter with a visa or not to begin with. Now, if you mentioned this other thing, if you apply for a green card marriage, specifically in that situation, I just had a consultation earlier and where I talked about this. There's a key difference between immediate relative, which includes a U.S. citizen sponsoring you as a married person, or family preference. And family preference goes to F1, 2, 3, 4. Most common one people usually talk about is like, had petition filed by a brother or sister, or it could include a permanent resident sponsoring you. So the key difference, there's a lot, but the key difference is that if you overstayed your visa and you had a permanent resident spouse sponsor you, it doesn't waive the unlawful presence. So when you overstayed your visa. However, that's why when people call in, have a consultation, We tell them, yes, you can file a petition now, but we really strong, given that the 2023 trend is that cases are being processed much more quickly, including for N400 as well. When you want to apply to become a citizen, make sure you're eligible before you file because you don't want to waste your government fee. USCIS will keep your fee. They're not going to check if you're eligible until afterwards. Okay. So by the fact that you apply, they're going to keep it. Okay. So you can't ask for your money back. I wish that was that easy. But keep in mind, because Congress doesn't fund USCIS, they rely on your application fees. So here's the thing. Now, but the number one recommended strategy, if a permanent resident does file for you or wants to, your spouse needs to file to become a U.S. citizen. And I've seen cases, even one of my cousin-in-laws just applied. I told him, look, you gotta be ready for the study for that the test. I say test, but it's like 10 questions plus a couple other questions, written and verbal. But essentially, he got his interview. It's coming up at the end of July, and we applied for him about a month and a half ago. So that's pretty quick, and that was out of Houston. So I kind of give you an idea. Under the Biden administration, I think they understand votes matter. They might be making every president may make a bad assumption that all foreign nationals could be Democrat, but hey, maybe you can consider it. It's up to you. Not any party is amazing, so you just have to do your proper research, but please vote. If you are a U.S. citizen, please vote. Okay. If you're not a U.S. citizen, do not vote in any election. Please don't. Okay. Because that is a permanent bar. Let's see. All right. So hopefully that answered your question, but specific to you, Ben Sassi, just want to make sure if your spouse or your fiance is a U.S. citizen. If so, and you get married, then it will waive your unlawful presence, your overstayed situation. All righty. What is up with this notification username? I need to try to ban you, to be honest. That's what I've been told to do. Okay. Okay, there we go. Hopefully that worked. That is strange. Alrighty. Eris. Let me switch over to YouTube real quick. I saw a positive one, so I want to mention that first. Coco, congratulations. Your I-130 was approved last week. And okay, you got a couple more comments. You received your work permit, but your 45 also was updated and showed as actively reviewing. Your case is F2A category. Yeah, so I was talking about how long does it take to 45? You received 45 and you sent it back in June, so last month. So I suspect you got RFE. I wonder what the reason is. I don't know. You mentioned last time. Maybe I'm getting confused with someone else. But sometimes when it's RFE situation, when it's at the quote unquote last stage, it's maybe about the financial sponsorship form 864, and need to provide pay stubs and proof of income of your spouse or sponsor. Okay. But it looks like you took care of it. I mean, usually after RFE, at least in our experience, they usually make a decision. Fortunately, if it's only a medical exam issue, then for the most part, we get it within a week. But if it's something more substantial, like where they need to review more documents, it does appear that average for us is about 1 month. Okay. That's just average. So hopefully that helps a bit. Okay. Let me answer one more question on YouTube. Then I'll answer the one on TikTok. All right. Bet those tacos. You're welcome. Happy to share information. You've got a 220B and you're put under intense supervision with a super ankle monitor. But a few months later, you're a victim of a crime. You have a U visa application. ICE had you come to the office to start the removal process, but after realizing about your application, they removed the ankle monitor. Your question is, are you still under supervision or not? Did they ask you to come back? Because usually that's how you would know. They don't give you a form to say, okay, your order of supervision is canceled per se. But if they didn't ask you to come back, then you likely don't. You don't have to be concerned about it. But but you likely will have to go to court. So you want to keep that in mind. Let me see if I can find this website for the EOIR website. This is the EOIR, basically the court acronym. So you can check your, okay, let me go here. Okay, Betos Tacos, you want to check that website, enter in your A number so you know your most up-to-date or next court hearing, okay, for immigration. That's very important. And folks, hot tip here, if you have a case with ICE or the court and you moved or about to move, you want to update the address. You can Google it. It's E33. It's very important because if you fail to appear and they change the court date, like the court date right now, but if they change it and they did mail you notice of the change, a new one, but you didn't check online, it's not the court doesn't require you to check online. However, I highly recommend it once a month to check. But if you do move, you do need to update the court and, of course, the Department of Homeland Security. Okay, and that form is E33. I believe I checked last week and they have it online now. So check that out, okay? Let's see here. Okay, I think I answered your question, but yeah. Then you need to provide a copy of your U visa application that's already been filed to the Department of Homeland Security, the trial attorney, and hopefully they get you. This is a good example, Betos Tacos, for PD. Get your case dismissed. Okay. All right, back to TikTok. Eris, what does it mean when it said prior date on the consular electronic? Your CEAC website. So basically, I don't know. Can you specify more what your question? Because I can say a lot. Maybe if you're talking about like you checked your case status and it says something about wait for your priority date or something, you do want to Eris, you might want to call in or find our YouTube channel, Green Card Guys TV, and we do have a video about visa bulletin. So maybe, but priority date is what are those dates that you find on a visa bulletin. You usually want to check the most recent or current visa bulletin. So right now, I believe it shows July. So you want to click on that. And then, but yeah, if you find our YouTube video, if you check something about visa bulletin or search for it, you'll find it. Okay, but long story short, explanation, that priority date is on your receipt notice, okay, of the I-130. So hopefully that helps a bit. User and a bunch of these numbers, user 410. Your case passed 15 months, can't submit inquiry yet for the I-130 approval. Oh, your I-130 was approved and the 485 is pending. That's interesting. I wonder why. So if your I-130 is approved, typically the 485 will get approved the next day, but it sounds like it's been a while for you. Okay. So 15 months. Did you have an interview at all? If you haven't had an interview, maybe in a couple more months, you may want to consider a mandamus lawsuit. Of course, as you know, we do assist for that or with that. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. The way they do processing times, the longer it is, they just push back your ability to submit inquiry. So back in the days with President Obama, we used to just be able to email the field office director, which of course it's his team handling it. Okay. Back to Insta. By the way, have y'all joined the new Threads social media platform? That's kind of like Twitter, apparently. Let me know what y'all think. I'm trying to stay away with. There's so many social media platforms. Baba Arlington, you filed a VAWA case since 2020 till now. No update from USCIS. Baba, did you file a 45 with that? Was it based on abuse by a U.S. citizen? Then you can file a 45 as well. Okay. Baba, it's probably a situation you need to call in. So we do offer free 15 minutes. No pressure. We just want to help point you in the right direction. We appreciate the questions here, but most of the time we have follow-up questions so we can better assist you. Okay. And I do have to jump off very soon. All right, so let's see. Fidel Ilvera. Okay, you got a deportation order from a judge, and your lawyer sent a letter to appeal. Okay, probably the E26 or 27, but got dismissed, which means in the same situation, what would be the smart thing to do next? Okay, so when you say deportation order and case got dismissed, then I have the feeling that the deportation order, removal order was vacated. That's a key thing I will be looking at now, and then seeing if you have a family member. I know the most common one is if you're married to a U.S. citizen, but maybe you have a fiance, whether that person is a U.S. citizen or resident, then we can help you there. There's a possibility for people to get status for those who don't have any immigration status right now, um, through employment based, but it typically a default requires consulate processing, and then you also need to be eligible for a waiver. So it's a pretty complex thing. If you're in that situation, but Fidel, I recommend you give us a call, okay, right up there, or answer a couple questions. We can see if we can send you some follow up questions, okay. But I mean, that's a good thing in general, as you can suspect that your case got dismissed. But we would just want to check that dismissal order to make sure that part is okay. All right. Let's see. Next question. How do prior dates work for U.S. citizen spouses that filed 485 in USA? Some people say it doesn't apply to U.S. citizen spouses. That is correct. You don't have to rely on prior date if your spouse is a U.S. citizen, because it's considered immediate relative classification. So there is no. So that's when attorneys usually say it's the quicker way per se. It actually is quicker these days in 2023, but traditionally it takes like a year. But yeah, so that's good. Hopefully you're in that situation. You have a U.S. citizen spouse. So yeah, you don't have to. For those in that situation, do not have to rely on the visa bulletin. That's great news. Anu, good afternoon to you. I have 1 minute, but I gotta jump off. Is VAWA Advanced Pro valid for up to a year or until 1 week before the card expires? I know it's not advisable to stay more than 3 weeks. I would just rely on the visa on the expiration date. How long can you actually stay outside America? I usually think of that kind of timing when it involves like someone who's a resident. Not quite too sure when someone has AP, but I wouldn't risk it. Okay, if you're able to come back sooner, because I know I recall that you want to wait a little longer. So it depends on what your form says. Now, will customs look back at your 131 form and say, "Oh, you wrote 3 weeks here. You wrote 3 days." It really depends. So usually AP for some people, it will say only valid for 1 day, or it's valid for like a year, but you can only travel out for 1 day. So if yours says 3 weeks, then I would follow that. Okay. Hopefully that helps. If you want us to take a look at it, we're happy to do that. But I don't know if it shows it on the card, but it will definitely say it on the approval notice of the 131. Okay. Green card. Ooh, green card interview for 4 years. Come on, TE. What's going on? 4 years? Did you whether you had the interview already or you're waiting for the interview? That is way too long. Okay, TE. Give us a call right up here, or fill out our form, freevisaquiz.com or greencardguys.com, whatever is easier for you. It really depends on if your family preference, if you're immediate relative, or is employment based. We want to check to make sure what stage. I talk about mandamus lawsuit a lot, but so it may appear okay, VAWA. Yeah, I mean, again, I need to check more, but probably you need to file mandamus. Okay, but did you file a 485? Okay, that's a question I got. But you're welcome to answer a few questions on our website, and we can follow up there. Okay, I appreciate y'all. You have a wonderful day. I need to get to my next meeting. If you don't mind, share our videos, follow, like, subscribe, and y'all have a good one. Okay, see y'all tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.